welcome to another episode of Bridge and Brewery. We are in Queens, New York, and we are trying this Oi the lager from Bridge and Tunnel Brewery, which is awesome. We're in the middle of the street having a couple beers. Oi. And guess what? This is a lager, 6.8 Pilsner and caramel malts, refreshing with a crisp and clean finish. Oi celebrates music, camaraderie, fashion, liberation, and working class consciousness that cuts across all ethnic and racial lines. That's what it is, and that's always what it will be, and it's awesome.
Compliments from Freddie.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Right.
How's it going? And we just got this for free. Cool. So this is artwork that was done by Jim Martin. We've known him in the Connecticut punk scene, and he's done so many great bands. Hopefully we'll see it. Got a car behind me playing some jams. Hopefully we'll see him later, catch a quick glance, and maybe talk to him about beer and how he got involved with this. But let me try. I mean, we're here for a reason, right? We're here for Oi. And this is the beer. Oh, this is smooth. This is awesome. It's delicious. I'm gonna give that sucker an A. I loved it. I want more of it. Delicious. Bridge and Tunnel Brewery. We are in Queens. Celebration of Oi. I'm also a punk. And buy all of these. Welcome to an episode of Bridge and Brewery. And I'm with my special guest, Jim Martin. Howdy. Cheers.
Howdy. Cheers.
Hell yeah. All right. We were supposed to see each other at Bridge and Tunnel, but we kind of missed each other. But tell me how you got started with the whole, with the artwork for the Oi the lager beer.
Well, I was involved in the punk and hardcore scene in the early 80s, and I had no money, and I started doing art as trade to get into shows, and luckily the show organizers liked my art, which parlayed to like more flyers, record covers, and things like that. So I built up a reputation doing that, and then it parlayed into, hey Jim, you have really good taste in music. Why don't you join the band? So I started a band, Malachi Crunch, then I was in Broken, and I've been in Baltimore Foot Stompers, and now I'm in Chemtrails, although we're kind of on hiatus because of the pandemic. But all that, I'm still doing artwork, I'm still productive with artwork, and I knew Freddie Alva from the 80s scene in New York City, and he was he was into everything. He ran Reconstruction Records. He was very active in the scene, in the Latino scene, and he's a Peruvian immigrant. And I'm into all that stuff. And Freddie just remembered all my art, and he asked me to be included in some of the publications he was doing involved with his Urban Styles book, which came out 4 or 5 years ago, and which grew now to the Black Book projects, which are winding down, which is a mix of punk artists and graffiti artists, street artists in New York. And now he's working with the brewery in New York, the microbrew Bridge and Tunnel. And Bridge and Tunnel are very, it's a small operation, but very nice people. Rich, who runs it, they asked me with the Oi part of the Black Book project. They asked me to do a beer can with Blitz on it, and I was like, sure, I could do that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? But they wanted me to pose them in front of Big Ben, and I'll tell you what, I'm never going to draw Big Ben ever again.
It looked great.
Yeah.
It looked really good. I thought
I'll even pose a photo of it somewhere, but it was one of the more intricate things I think I've ever had to draw, and I really studied Big Ben. And if you look at the Who My Generation cover, which we used for the angle with Big Ben, if you really look at the picture on that Who My Generation cover, it's still war damage because they took that picture in the 60s.
Wow.
Yeah, but if you look at it, you can see pock marks where bombs went off near Big Ben.
That's really
so
cool.
Because I was like looking at it, I was like analyzing it. I'm like, well, I'm not going to draw a pock mark. Big Ben's nice now, but some people in England are a little upset because Blitz were from New Mills, which is like suburban Manchester. It's very tribal over there, so there's a little bit of controversy there. But
it's like
we're just dumb Yanks, I guess. But
yeah, we are.
Yeah, but there's plenty of things they don't know over here. So
exactly. So back to beer. What is your favorite kind of beer and the least favorite?
Least favorite? IPAs.
All right.
It's okay. You can like the beer you like. But you know, I always say pairs with ass.
It does. It tastes pretty good, by the way.
But it's like, how dare you turn my beer into snotty wine? But you know, all kidding aside, I like stouts, Guinness fan, but I like European pilsners. You know, I'm known for a good cheap lager on special hot summer nights, but
Punk nights.
yeah, punk nights where the only thing they have is PBR.
You're gonna drink it. You're gonna have a good time.
And I always say the next day you get beer burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens during the night where you're like, you know, and then you try to.
And you already have dragon breath before you fucked up. So,
Okay,
excuse me, I was drinking PBR.
You're like, hold on, don't.
You got a Tic Tac.
So, do you have any stories with beer? Like anything that happened? Any crazy stories? Because I know you traveled. You've been touring.
With beer?
So, yeah.
With beer? Well, I know
Or the stuff that you remember?
Yeah, the first time I toured Europe, I wasn't accustomed to being treated well after touring in America.
Yes.
Like they actually feed you, give you a place to stay.
What?
And they
do that?
Yeah, and they feed you a nice meal too in the squats. This was like, you know, 35 years ago or something. Could have changed, but no. But Europe, they know how to do it right. They also give you a case of beer, of like their local beer. So it's like,
why am I here?
yeah, I know.
You know what? Wait a minute. So they give you a case of beer, and they're like, here you go.
And then when you get on the stage, and this is for the stage, you know, they put it on like.
Oh my God.
But then you see when you're playing, you see hands like creeping up, like trying to grab your beer. It's like, get out of here.
Get out of here. No.
But all right, here's a crazy story. Tour in Mexico. We played this gig in Querétaro, and in Querétaro, it looks like a Clint Eastwood kind of spaghetti western city. They still have all the old big doors,
Oh my God.
old like Euro, like old buildings, beautiful place. But we played this gig and it was in a garage that was an actual mechanic's garage.
Cool.
But it was run by a family. And when the show came, they turned it into a stage and they brought in a sound system and they roped off the car so you couldn't get near that stuff.
Wow.
But no, and then they had beer and everything. And there was a motorcycle club there called the Jokers. And somebody said, you're lucky, you stay with the Jokers Motorcycle Club tonight. And I was like, are we lucky? And so anyway, fast forward, we get to their place. And we get to their place, and it's a compound like most Mexicans live, like with their families still, and they have a gate to their property, and you know, there's Grandma and Grandpa's house, and you know, you have to be respectful.
Oh yeah.
And you know, you wouldn't think it was like a biker clubhouse. I mean, Grandma and Grandpa were there. You know, it's like, you know, they were nice guys. But so one of them goes, hey, do you guys want more beer? And I was like, sure. And I was
Why
like,
not?
I offered him more money. It was late at night. We were getting winding down, and I offered him more money, and he goes, no, it's okay, not necessary. And he said, we'll be back. And then they came back and they came through the gate huffing and puffing. And I was like, what's going on? He goes, oh, we were chased by the police. I was like, why? And he goes, oh, because we had to break in the store to get more beer. And I was like, I said, for the record, I didn't ask for that. You know,
That's
I was like, I didn't
awesome.
want to. No, so we looked out in the aisle. There was cops with machine guns and searchlights on their cars looking for
God.
these guys. And that could have ended our tour right there. But they said, it's okay, we stashed the beer. And when they go away, we'll go back and get it. So we waited like 25 minutes and they went back and got the beer. And then we drank it till we passed out.
I need to go to Mexico.
Oh, Mexico rules. I
Like
love
the
Mexico.
scene, the punk scene there is incredible. Like there's amazing bands that came
I've
out of
toured
there.
there many times.
Mess. I like
Oh,
Mess.
Mess is new. That's
Macides.
I know Chesby. He was the guy. He was like Los Manjos manager when I brought them up to Canada. So it goes deep. I got a lot of Latino punk.
I mean, that's the best thing. It's like the Latino punk scene, and you know, I've been friends with Rodo from Macides, and it's just an incredible scene, and it's like, and I feel like. And it's cool that they're getting this explosion where they're getting known and stuff like that. And like I feel like
I didn't start touring down there until 20 years ago. I went down with Behind Enemy Lines, and I met all these people, and like I knew all these bands from the 80s, and I was telling them what I knew, and they were like, that guy knows. You know, I was like, well, I'm an old punk rocker. You know, it's like, you know, but we were talking about Massacre 68, Toxico, Solution Mortal.
Oh, shit.
So you know, it's like, and I met these guys, Chaos Subterreno.
But you've been around the punk scene for a long time.
Yeah, about 40 years.
And that's something that's respected. You know, that's why you're like.
I never stopped.
You never stop.
Well,
it's your way of life, damn it.
That's right. I mean, I have normal life. I have to go to work.
Yeah,
you know, I have to do these things. But I am fortunate to still be a part of it. And you know, you you have to, recognize the brotherhood and sisterhood of making it happen. And when somebody's in trouble, you help them out, and vice versa,
That's how it is, yeah.
Or like I always say, put back what you take.
Thank you.
Yes.
And also, are you guys, I know with the hiatus with the damn pandemic, what are you guys doing after? Are you guys not planning tours? What are you guys doing?
I plan on getting a nice suntan this summer. Hopefully we will get back together. We've been paying for a practice space that's highly underutilized.
Which one?
It's in Waterbury.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, we're good.
Thank you.
It's a good space. We've had it. We wanted to keep it. It's nice and clean. And,
I like it.
it's not a pile of beer cans. Only afterwards.
Hey, after. But so you guys are gonna continue practicing?
We will continue. I have a label called Vex that I've been running.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, and I have a new. Speaking of Latino stuff, I have the new 7-inch. I just got the test pressing, and it's a split between a Brazilian immigrant band that lives in New York called Cartel with a Colombian female singer.
Ooh.
And then the other side will be Audio Social from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I just got the test pressing back. I played it for Adrian the other night. What'd you think, Adrian? Yeah, it smokes. So we're just waiting for approval from the bands. We'll move forward. And they brought it to me, and I had it. For a few years financially, I wasn't doing so well with the label, but now I feel, not traveling and spending money on other stuff, I had money to do another record. So I said yes.
Absolutely.
And it's a DIY deal. It's just like they're gonna get their cut. But I'm pretty excited. It's really good. Other ones I'm working on, Nightmare Solution 12-inch 45.
Yes, they're awesome.
And I'm working on a Devastation demo re-release with Bill Chamberlain from The Piss at Wild Mutation. He's down in Philly right now, but it's a project we're working on together. It's like a lost recording of Devastation. That was supposed to be a split with Distraught, but it still stands up. We listened to it again, and I said it's worth money.
It's worth it.
Well, instead of putting out a tape that's going to degrade, let's do a nice vinyl pressing.
I mean, who doesn't like a vinyl?
I love the vinyl. It's not very practical if you move a lot.
Oh no, it's not. But
I'm not moving anywhere.
I'm not moving either. But so with everything that is happening, record label, the band, would there be anything that you like? If somebody wants to hit you up for like art, is that something that you want?
I am, but self-admittedly, it's a process, and I have day-to-day life. So, if you wanted to, and you're not a fascist piece of shit, I'll probably do your art. So
advice: don't be a POS. Just be cool. But your artwork's incredible.
Well, thank you very much.
That beer, the oil lager beer, is such a juicy lager. It's so good.
Succulent.
It's succulent. It's luxurious.
Does it pair with ass?
It pairs with everything ever, including butt. But it was delicious, and I went there.
I drank a lot of it last week.
I drank a lot of it last night.
Yeah, I still have some, but they're gonna do a second batch.
What?
They're doing a second batch because Freddie asked me today if he could do a second batch with the art. And I was like, of course.
I think they should do a batch forever.
But people wanted it far away. We can't ship beer overseas from the United States. So unless it's imported somehow, legally, because it's alcohol. But people in California are like, send me a can. It's like, well, I hope it's not an exploded can by the time it gets to you. Yeah, a sticky, smelly, stanky, fly-ridden box full of old beer. But that's pretty fun too.
That was me, honestly. But Bridge And Tunnel Brewery was when I went there. I tried all the beers, and they're freaking amazing. That's probably one of my favorite breweries.
He tries different stuff. First time I went in there though, it was like a suntan beer. It was it tasted like it was like fruit infused, and I was like, who put copper toad in my beer?
They did a lobster beer.
A lobster beer. I didn't try.
They did that. I was like, what? But they did some good stuff,
But it's a cool place, and hopefully when the pandemic's over, you'll be able to recover. I was in there before the pandemic, and the tap room was pretty cool.
Didn't get in there.
And I was hanging out with some guys. We ran into guys from that old metal band from New York, Nuclear Assault. We were just hanging out. So that was cool. We were hanging out with Danny Lilker, drinking beer with Danny Lilker, and microbrew in Queens.
You know what? All the punks and everybody should get together after this pandemic's over, and we all drink and have a good time and drink cheap beers, expensive beers, all beers, because this is what gets us together: beer.
Yes, beer
and art.
Well, and friendship, and I think it's also important after this pandemic's over. I'm so charged to be back out. I was like the deprivation of. I'm a social butterfly. It really was daunting. At times I was like, wow, this sucks. Pizza and another movie I've seen a million times.
I know, but you know what?
You do that when you're sick.
You do that when you're sick and dying. But you know what? Like, hopefully when things get better, there'll be more shows, there'll be more. So like, do you? And I know you want, if somebody were to hit you up for the artwork, I know you don't want them to be like your POS because because some people can't be.
Yes,
but you have incredible artwork. Like I've seen, like there's stuff that you've done, and I've seen it. And I'm like, damn, like you have an awesome point of view. Like,
well, some of them I've seen. Well, my influence is growing up. I'm a 50-something punk, but
still young.
I grew up in the mid 70s, and there was a lot of underground comics. I had hippie parents that encouraged me to be creative.
That's awesome.
So and supportive. It was a rock and roll household growing up, and my parents were young, and they exposed me to a lot of great stuff. And there was never a dumb idea unless we were going to get our head cut off. So, my brother Kevin was a BMX freestyler professional.
That's so cool.
When he got out of high school, he was like lived in California. He was off to New Zealand and France, just like that.
That's amazing.
And so it's like my parents. I think having cool parents and just letting your kids be themselves was
so
a big important thing.
Yeah, you should never stifle somebody's creativity.
Yeah, no. Some people I heard would say my parents would take away all my crayons as punishment. I was like, that's the worst thing you could do to a kid.
No, never. Encourage your kids to do cool things and be creative. But again, thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm so
thanks
happy.
for having me. And you're doing well as well, playing with the Rats. I'll see you guys.
Dan, I got another,
When's the Dan Broad's gonna play again?
Sometime, like, but, and everything that you're doing, like, I can't wait to see you.
Fun fact, the first Chemtrails gig ever was with the Dan Broads at Cherry Street.
Oh!
That was our first ever gig.
That's awesome.
As that project,
you know what? I love Chemtrails. I love everything that you do, and I want to have more beers with you. So let's continue.
All right. Cheers to you. Stay creative, stay healthy.
And brought out.